let's get into 5 impact freshmen. Robin did this breakdown on July 4th. And, this is going to be a year, guys, that I think we're going to see more freshmen just play in general because of where it is with Matt Rule. Year one, I think if there's a tie with an older guy and a younger guy, he's going to lean towards the younger guy in a lot of cases because this is not about necessarily 2023. It's important, but it's about the long run of this program.
Yeah, so the 5 that made the list in no order were Tristan Alvano at kicker, Malachi Coleman and Jaden Doss at wide receiver, Cameron Lenhart and Princewell Uman Mielen on the edge defensive line.
I said that pretty well.
Yeah, I actually looked it up.
You
and
did?
Figured out, yeah.
You looked it up?
There was a video of him, like some guy asked him to pronounce his name. Uman Mielen.
Uman
Mielen.
Uman Mielen.
Okay.
By the way, somebody hammered us in the comments last show.
Really?
For not being professionals and not having the pronunciation of that name down.
Well, Princewell Uman Mielen.
That's legit.
No,
especially for you as a radio person.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris Fowler could not say Ndamukong Suh's name
Mr.
right.
Sue.
Like in the 09 Missouri game on that Thursday night in Columbia. I mean, he could not get the name right the whole broadcast. And he was like, Ndamukong. And it was like just.
Yeah. My stance has been I'm a writer. I got to spell them right.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess now that we do more.
All right. So what about you guys? What do you guys think of that 5?
I like it. I like it a lot. Alvano makes a lot of sense. I mean, he hit 4 40-yard plus field goals in the Class A state championship game. That's pretty good.
Would you say that Alvano is the far and away most likely candidate to be a day one starter out of that freshman class?
Princewell's going to play a lot, I think.
But is he going to be a starter, a day one starter?
Started the spring game, but
so I'm trying to be respectful to Timmy Bleekrode right now. I think Bleekrode would say, well, why are we handing jobs to Alvano here?
So
I was the guy last year.
Alvano made more field goals in the state title game in Memorial Stadium than Bleekrode made in Memorial Stadium all year.
Apologies, Timmy.
I'm just going off of
facts.
No, you're right. No, that might be. It's a good question, at least for sure.
Well, I mean, for one, I just don't know if there's that many that are even in that conversation, and so you're talking about maybe 3 or 4 guys that even have the possibility of being a day one starter.
Yeah.
And of that group, I think Alvano's the clear favorite.
Yeah. Sincere Safiala, we didn't have on this list, but he easily could have been on this list too, because I do think he could play.
Oh, I know it was tough.
Eric Fields, we left off too.
Yeah, I like the list. I mean, Coleman's intriguing to me because of his size.
You could pick any one of those receivers, to be honest. I think Coleman, like you said, his size, I think he's built to be an impact guy. Same thing with Doss and his versatility. But I mean, there's a handful of those freshmen. That window is wide open. After about the top 3 or 4 in that receiver room,
I think you picked the right 2, though.
Yeah.
Doss catch and run potential is really strong.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that he has backfield experience, they can move him around.
Good backfield experience.
He's been a kick returner too.
Mm-hmm.
He ran for 922 yards as a senior. I mean, Doss catch and run. Coleman, man, you guys saw not this summer camp round, but last year's summer camp round when we went over there
7-on-7,
7-on-7, and you just eyeball players. Wow. Then you see Malachi Coleman. And you're like, whoa, well, wait, he looks different. Yeah, he looks different. And that's why he's on the list largely. Then Lenhart
those ones were obvious based on what they did this spring.
And Princewell.
Yeah.
Lenhart's not your typical true freshman. Number one, he's an early enrollee, but number 2, he came from IMG Academy, and you're just going to be developed better there because of what you go against every day. I mean, that's almost like a prep school more than a high school as far as the level of player that's there. Everybody that's going there is essentially going to be a Division I player.
Yeah, those guys, I mean, you'd like to, I mean, it's kind of provocative to say they could start, one of them could start. The provocative part sort of dies down when you think about the Big Ten and what you're asking a true freshman to do.
It's usually not a good thing if you're throwing a true freshman to the Wolves.
Yeah, there's not too many guys where you're thinking over the years, okay, he had 9 sacks as a true freshman. Who's that? I mean, who is that? I don't know.
Like Barry Turner. Nebraska. No. Barry Turner was an example of a true freshman edge rusher.
What conference was that?
Nope.
In the Big 12. Back
was
when
the
the
Big
Big 12 was a good league. The Big
12 tackles aren't like Big 10 tackles, Sean.
The Big 12, though, in that era was better than the Big 10.
Now?
No.
At the time.
At the time, the Big 12 in 05 was better than, like, they were.
I'll give you that.
They were the premier league.
This is a different world than the Big
No,
12.
I don't disagree.
In terms of line play.
But Barry Turner led the nation in, like, freshman sacks in 05. I remember that.
So you're talking about almost 20 years since Nebraska's got a guy like that.
No, you're right, though. Turner was good. Turner was odd because he was really good as a freshman, tailed off dramatically.
It's like he got heavier almost and lost a step.
And then he got kind of good again as a senior, right?
Yeah. So with this, we got these 5, but on Thursday, we're running a deal where it's going through every freshman and predicting what their role is going to be this season. And probably like 80 to 85% of them are all, I expect them to going to play, but it's going to be within that 4-game red shirt. And I think a lot of that is going to be, do they want to get as many young guys legitimate game snap experience as they can to help build that foundation? Because like you guys mentioned, this isn't necessarily all about 2023. It's about the long game. It's how Matt Rule's done it at every stop that he's been. And so they brought in a big class. They're going to try to get as many of those guys experience to help build that foundation to where next year you're not throwing in new guys. You have guys that have been under the lights and been in that setting, in that environment. That's going to make them, I think, hit the ground running a lot quicker.
And once that COVID year gets out of college football, it's going to make roster management so much easier, but we're still going to deal with this for about 2 more years. Where, there's guys that have that extra year that kind of make these decisions harder because you have more players on your rosters. That will filter out, but I do think, like Robin said, you're going to see a lot of guys teetering that 4-game line.
Yeah, and not just on special teams. I think you're going to, if they have the opportunity one way or the other to get players on the field on offense or defense, I think they're going to do it.
It's a great. I hadn't really thought about that too much. That makes a lot of sense.